In a New Zealand neonatal unit, the smallest patients weigh under a kilogram. Some arrive at 23 weeks, weighing about 335 grams. Machines help them breathe. Parents learn to touch them. Many go home. That outcome rests on a discovery made in Auckland with sheep. New Zealand ran the trial that proved how to protect a premature baby's lungs. The result was published in 1972. Most of the world did not use it properly for about 20 years. That gap is the story. Being born early is dangerous for one main reason. A baby's lungs are among the last organs to finish. Deep inside them sit millions of tiny air sacs. Those sacs need a slippery substance to stay open between breaths. Doctors call it surfactant. Without enough of it, the sacs collapse each time the baby breathes out. The baby then has to reopen its whole chest, breath after breath, until it tires. The condition has a plain name, respiratory distress syndrome. For most of the 20th century, it was the main reason premature babies died. The answer did not come from a nursery. It came from a question about farm animals. Graham Liggins was an obstetrician at National Women's Hospital in Auckland. He wanted to know what starts labor. His theory pointed at hormones produced by the unborn animal itself. Working with sheep, he gave lambs a steroid before birth to test the idea. The lambs were born far too early to survive. They breathed anyway. Their lungs had matured ahead of schedule. Liggins had been studying the beginning of labor. He had accidentally found something about the end of pregnancy. Consider how strange that step really is. The medicine goes into the mother. It crosses to the baby, days before anybody has seen that baby. It tells organs to grow up early. Nothing is done to the newborn at all, because there is no newborn yet. Proving it in humans needed a careful trial. Liggins worked with Ross Howie, the one doctor there who could ventilate newborns. Recruitment began in 1969. Women at risk of giving birth early received either the steroid or a placebo. Nobody chose who got which. 282 women took part. The numbers came out clearly. Respiratory distress syndrome fell from 26% to 9%. Deaths among the newborns fell from about 15% to about 3%. A first journal turned the paper down. It appeared in the journal Pediatrics in 1972. Those figures make the next part hard to accept. Uptake was slow and patchy for roughly 2 decades. Some doctors worried about giving steroids in pregnancy at all. Some thought one trial in one distant hospital was not enough. Others simply never encountered the finding. Smaller studies were run in other countries over the following years. Individually, several were too small to be convincing. Some looked mildly positive. Some looked like nothing. The evidence existed, scattered across journals. It said the same thing, in a voice too quiet to hear. What was missing was not data. It was the habit of adding data together. In 1990, an obstetrician named Patricia Crowley did exactly that. 12 randomized trials went into one combined analysis. Pooled, the result was overwhelming. Steroids before a premature birth reduced deaths and reduced lung disease. In 1994, an American Consensus Conference formally recommended the treatment. Only then did it spread quickly through maternity units worldwide. 22 years passed between the New Zealand paper and that recommendation. Nobody hid anything. No company suppressed a result. The finding sat in the open. It waited for someone to look at all of it at once. There is a small monument to that lesson. You may have seen it without knowing. The Cochrane Collaboration is an international network that reviews medical evidence. Its logo is a circle with a diagram inside. The diagram is not decoration. It is the actual picture of Crowley's analysis of those steroid trials. Each horizontal line is one trial. The vertical line is no effect. Most lines sit to one side, but individually many are too wide to be sure. Added together they are certain. The organization chose that image deliberately. It marks the babies who could have been saved. They were lost in the years when nobody added the evidence up. An entire branch of medicine now carries a New Zealand result as its emblem. Return now to the unit where this began. A steroid injection given before birth remains standard care in New Zealand. It is given when early labour is expected, usually between 24 and 34 weeks. The dose costs very little. Few treatments in obstetrics do more good for the money. Survival, however, was only the first problem. In the 1990s, parents were not allowed inside New Zealand neonatal units. They stood at viewing platforms and looked at their own baby through glass. Touching was not permitted. Those parents are now treated as part of the care team. They learn to feed, hold, and settle a baby surrounded by equipment. Staff describe it as caring for a whole person, not a list of symptoms. Babies whose parents are active in their care tend to go home sooner. If you find quiet New Zealand stories like this worth knowing, subscribe. There are more of them than this country tends to mention. And keep the shape of this one. A New Zealand doctor asked why labour begins. He learned how to make small lungs grow up early. The proof was public in 1972. The world's most trusted medical evidence network now uses that proof as its logo. It chose that picture as a reminder of what waiting costs.